I have been asked to be the spokesman for this Allied Expeditionary Force in saying a word of introduction to what you're about to see.
Even 80 years after World War II, tons of secrets about the war remain untouched. Official accounts, personal memoirs, and released government files have shaped what we know over the years. However, beneath those told stories, there are hidden facts either overlooked or kept out of sight. These uncovered details question what we think we know. They reveal a more complicated and sometimes darker side to the war's history. In this video, we dive into 5 insane discoveries from World War II that change the way we see the conflict. Hidden underground hideouts linked to D-Day and chilling locations of cruel experiments reveal the fear and terror of that era. Secret 5. The Ghost Battery of Maisie. Omaha Beach, known for the Normandy landings, stands as a symbol of bravery and loss for the Allies. Historians have long argued about how intense German defenses were. They questioned why U.S. troops faced such heavy losses. For more than 80 years, a crucial piece of the story stayed buried. In 2005, Gary Stern, a British military history enthusiast, came across a wrinkled map tucked inside the uniform of a U.S. serviceman at a memorabilia fair. The map showed plans for the Omaha Beach invasion. It highlighted a spot labeled as an area of high resistance. Until then, people thought the area was just empty fields. His curiosity led him to Normandy, where he stood on what turned out to be concrete. This led him to uncover an entrance to a sprawling hidden complex covered in vegetation. Over a span of 2 years, Stern dug through the site after buying 40 acres from 32 separate landowners. He ended up uncovering the Maisie Battery, a German defensive site as large as 4 football fields. It had been hidden beneath the ground and ignored for 6 decades. This massive complex came with trenches, bunkers, a field hospital, shelters for 155mm cannons, 105mm guns, and anti-aircraft weapons. In 2020, additional digging revealed even more concealed bunkers nearby. Finding the Maisie Battery changed how people thought about D-Day in a big way. Located near Omaha Beach, the battery's guns caused many of the 2,400 American deaths there. Stern later formed a theory about a possible cover-up. He argued that Allied leadership might have known about Maisie but failed to act, leading to unnecessary casualties. This discovery, thanks to one determined individual, challenged what experts had accepted as true for years. It shows that major historical breakthroughs can come from unexpected places. It proves history isn't set in stone. It is always open to new discoveries. The decades the battery spent buried and overtaken by nature show how effective wartime camouflaging was, and how the natural world can bury human efforts over time. It suggests that many other important wartime sites may still be hidden under the environment, waiting to be discovered. The idea of a cover-up adds a deeper layer to how history is built and preserved. It challenges the belief that history always tells a clear and unbiased truth, and shows how politics can shape historical narratives. Secret 4. Churchill's Secret Army. After the Dunkirk evacuation in 1940, Britain had to face the serious threat of a German invasion. While the Home Guard defended the UK on the surface, a much more secret and deadly force was being formed in the shadows. Known as the Auxiliary Units, this group earned the chilling nickname, Churchill's Secret Army. These elite teams, often called scallywags, were recruited from gamekeepers, foresters, and even poachers, locals who knew their terrain better than anyone. Their mission wasn't traditional defense. They were trained to sabotage, disrupt, and fight to the death if the invasion occurred. They were expected to survive only 12 days. This gives us a much darker view of British resistance than popular narratives show. Many of their hidden bases stayed undiscovered for decades. But in 2020, a tree-felling project in Scotland accidentally exposed one. Kit Roger, a survey technician, found the long-lost Craigielands Auxiliary Unit bunker. Thanks to childhood memories, he realized what it was. The base included bunk beds, a cooking stove, and a blast wall to protect against grenades. This find uncovers Britain's desperate secret plan in case of a Nazi occupation. Many of these fighters later joined elite units like the SAS, influencing today's special operations tactics. Their training in stealth, sabotage, and survival formed the blueprint for modern warfare. Secret 3. The Ultra Revelation. During World War II, wireless radios became a lifeline for military communication across the globe. But with every transmission came a risk: interception. To keep information secure, countries used sophisticated encryption machines. Germany's Enigma machine stood out as a technological marvel, one the Allies needed to crack. The real story begins with Polish code breakers in the 1930s. Using data from a German informant, they reconstructed the Enigma machine and began decoding its secrets. They later shared this knowledge with British and French intelligence. In Bletchley Park, UK's code-breaking center, Alan Turing and others, alongside American teams, used early computers and brilliant problem-solving skills to break the Enigma. They named the operation Ultra. By late 1942, they were decoding around 4,000 messages per day. Simultaneously, they cracked Japanese codes under the codename Magic. Surprisingly, about 8,000 women, many from top universities, worked at Bletchley Park, doing jobs often ignored in historical accounts. This challenges the male-centric war narrative and reminds us that wartime success came from collective intelligence, not just battlefield bravery. Ultra gave the Allies a massive edge, from helping ships avoid U-boat wolf packs to identifying Nazi weapon production sites and influencing Japan's surrender decisions. It was the first time in history that real-time data shifted the entire course of war strategy. Historians estimate that Ultra shortened the war by 2 to 4 years, saving millions of lives. Yet the operation remained classified for decades, even hidden from many Allied officers. When it was finally revealed, it raised deep moral questions. Why was it hidden for so long? And what else still remains secret? Secret 2. OSS and the V-weapon hunt. Before World War II, the U.S. lacked a central intelligence agency. That changed in 1942 when President Roosevelt established the Office of Strategic Services, OSS, America's first major spy organization. Led by wildly creative minds, the OSS handled spying, sabotage, and psychological warfare. Their reach stretched across Europe, Asia, and North Africa. One of their most critical missions occurred in neutral Switzerland. There, Allen Dulles, who would later lead the CIA, coordinated spies who uncovered shocking details: German V-1 and V-2 rocket development, chemical and biological weapon programs, and submarine plans. The OSS didn't just gather info. They invented spy gear like silenced pistols, exploding coal, and submachine guns disguised as luggage. They even forged ID cards and created fake documents for German and Japanese infiltration. Their gadgets showed that intelligence tech was evolving just as fast as battlefield weapons. After World War II, the OSS was shut down, but its DNA lived on in the CIA, formed in 1947. The identities of OSS agents remained hidden for decades. But on August 14, 2008, the CIA declassified thousands of OSS files, releasing them to the National Archives. This declassification exposed a shadow war of spies and tech. It also raised ethical debates. Should these secrets have remained hidden? And how much of modern American intelligence is shaped by World War II espionage? Secret 1. The Horrors of Unit 731. While much attention is rightly given to the Holocaust, another horrific chapter unfolded in Japanese-occupied China through Unit 731. Formed in 1936, this covert Japanese military unit conducted biological and chemical weapon experiments on living humans. They called their victims logs, reducing them to less than human. Their crimes: vivisection without anesthesia, exposing people to plague, anthrax, and frostbite, and dropping infected fleas on Chinese cities, causing hundreds of thousands of deaths. Victims included pregnant women, infants, and children. Their goal? To develop biological weapons for mass use. Over 12,000 people were killed in these experiments. These weren't isolated incidents. They were systematic, organized, and brutally efficient. For decades, Unit 731's site remained hidden. But near Anda, China, archaeologists finally uncovered bunkers, labs, and holding cells. The facility stretched over 100 feet, with dissection rooms, gas chambers, and phone booth-like death tanks. The most disturbing part? Many Unit 731 scientists were never prosecuted. Instead, they were absorbed by Cold War superpowers, the USSR, and even the United States, which allegedly used the data they had gathered through torture. This revelation shows the murky ethics of post-war science. How much is too much in the name of progress? And what happens when justice is traded for knowledge? While these discoveries were shocking, they're only part of the story. During World War II, scientists and engineers across multiple nations created technologies so bizarre they seemed pulled from science fiction, from flying saucers to death rays to underwater aircraft carriers. In our next video, we'll explore the most insane World War II tech that never made it off the drawing board. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss what's coming next. Because if these secrets shocked you, you won't believe what was being built in the shadows.